Is he a normal father-in-law? Like,
Yes. Yeah, like as far as like father-in-law, yes and no. In fact, for me, he's it's more normal for me than if he wasn't Arnold. You know what I mean? Like I feel like what I mean is it's a really wonderful fit in my life to have a father-in-law
who understands
the business and understands where I'm coming from and gives me advice that I honestly don't know. There's maybe a handful of people, a dozen people in the world that could give me the advice that he could give me in regards
Like
to
what?
navigating the world. Just like, just
Give it to me.
silly thing.
Pass it on, bro. Play it forward.
Just as it relates to, if I have a question about promoting a movie, if I'm like, hey, I'm going to promote a movie here, and what are your take on, if I go to promote a movie, it's a global market for the movies, you know what I mean? So like you're promoting
He
movies
invented that.
in areas that have different values and different views, but it's still a market, and you have to be mindful of what you say, not being thoughtful in your speech, but most importantly, as a father-in-law, he's really normal when it comes to just adoring his grandchildren. Like the other day, he had the girls come over and Ford come over for Mother's Day, and he like had all these paints set on his table, and he was doing their handprints, and he paints pictures for all the kids every Christmas and every all their gifts and stuff. He's has all these wonderful gifts that he gives, and he's just really thoughtful. He has them come over every week to feed the animals. So he's a doting grandfather, which is pretty cool.
He seems to be very mellow now. I mean, I feel like, this is just from an outsider, but I feel like you and he are very different, actually, as far as, like, you seem to be a guy who's really on the straight and narrow. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm going to read a scandal about you. You are that kind of square-jawed Navy SEAL guy. Maybe that's why you're so convincing in those roles,
Yeah, okay.
Whereas he, come on, was a bad boy. When he was your age and a movie star in Hollywood, it was just different.
And times were different.
Times were different, and he was different. And,
He's a one-on-one. There's no one like him. That's the truth.
That is the truth.
He truly is.
No.
He's a one-on-one. And, there's no one like him. And he's great.
I would love to talk to him here. I've tried. I'm not even asking you. That's not why I'm saying it. I just love him and find him fascinating.
He is fascinating.
And wasn't even against him as governor,
Great as a governor.
I don't remember. I remember how he got there. It was a lot about the car tax. We had a car tax. The previous governor put on a car, and people, this is car city.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a car state. I mean, it's almost famous for it. Tax anything. Tax their dildo. Don't tax cars. And he was smart. He rode that right. And of course, it blew a hole in the budget, caused other problems.
Right.
But no, I always thought, like, that is kind of what America needs to bring it together. And by the way, there's not just my opinion of this. The most successful politicians in America are Republican governors in blue states because they don't go too far either way.
Right.
They're in a blue state, so they can't be fucking right-wing mouth breathers.
Right.
But, like, even people in blue states, they want shit taken care of. Like, they don't want it overly woke. They want the roads paved, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, and probably they get to the position they're in by making promises on the sort of front of social progress, and then they have to cash the check on that. But if they're like, hey, listen, I didn't do it, he did, but he's in charge. Like, God, I hated all that shit anyways. I only did that to get elected.
I feel like our whole political system now, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a thermostat war. That have you ever had a lover and you were away with them, or maybe it was something more permanent, but one of you liked to sleep, in very cold.
Yeah.
And one of them liked it very hot.
Great. Yeah, I love it already.
Okay, I had this once. This is like what our government is now. One side gets in, and they turn the thermostat to 80.
Yeah.
Because the other, and then in the middle of the night, I would get up and turn it down to 60.
Yeah.
You know, because you went too far.
That's right.
80.
100%.
And all night long, we're having this thermostat war,
Yeah.
and nobody
No one's
can
getting a
just
good
go,
sleep.
put it at 70.
Yeah, put it at 70, set it, and let's just relax. Yeah,
So
you're right.
that's my cogent analysis of
Very good metaphor. I think in that metaphor, maybe to extend it, I know all metaphors fall apart eventually, but maybe the thermostat breaks. And
the thermostat is broken. That's so true. That's a great way to finish that. The thermostat is now broken because we don't know what, the temperature is or, But I don't want to worry your pretty little head about that. You must have 1,000 things.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, it is amazing how you went from like the schlubby guy. I really did not see that coming. Because even in one of my favorite movies, Moneyball, I must have seen that 3 or 4 times already by now. And
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Well, it's Aaron Sorkin, right?
Yeah, Aaron Sorkin wrote it.
Aaron
Yeah.
Sorkin writing
Bennett
about
Miller directed, yeah.
baseball. Who?
Bennett Miller is the director?
Bennett Miller.
Yeah.
I don't know that name. What is it? He must have done something else good.
I think he's done some other things, but Moneyball is
so great. And the book by
not C.S. Lewis, Michael Lewis.
Michael Lewis.
Different Lewis.
C.S. Lewis.
Slightly different.
He was a very Catholic. Yes. Well,
I like C.S. Lewis, though.
you would.
Yeah.
Not an atheist like me.
No?
But he is your boy, C.S. Lewis.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Yeah.
But not the only. He's I think a convert. But T.S. Eliot, one of the great intellects, the great poet of the wasteland and stuff. I think he was a late life Catholic convert. It's quite a large club. Tony Blair, former English Prime Minister. I think J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance, yeah.
I mean, I was brought up Catholic. I know this. To this day, if I walk into a church, there's a feeling that will never go away. For me, fear.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's also, I'm sure for many people, inspirational. It's both, you know.
I was baptized Catholic as a child, and then I was raised. My family wasn't religious, but I was, baptized Catholic kind of procedurally through my family because my dad was Catholic and he baptized babies, and then we never really went to church. I grew up next to a Lutheran church, which I went to a few times, and of course, Lutheranism and Catholicism slightly different in terms of like the way that they translate
it is
the literal Bible.
Lutheran, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be, is the closest of the Protestant denominations to Catholicism.
Yeah,
is
still
that
a lot of the same. I believe so. And I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I know that like a lot of the same traditions with the acolytes and the crucifers and the altar boys and all this stuff, and like it feels like like when you go into some of the rituals are really similar to a Catholic church.
Which is what Protestantism originally was all trying to get away from that.
Right.
And they stripped it of all the bells and the whistles and the magic and the I don't know, talking to the priest about how bad.
Confession and all of these things. Yeah, the community
But
of the
Lutherans
saints
got back to some of that, I think.
Yeah, I think from my understanding, and like I said, I'm not an expert on this, but I know Martin Luther was this German guy, the printing press. He created this printing press, and then
No. Gutenberg created the printing press. But soon after the printing press came on the scene, he printed his 95 Theses, which was the criticism of Catholicism.
Right.
And he nailed it to it.
Rooted in the Bible with translations from, because people getting, people maybe in Germany at the time or wherever around the world were getting Mass in Latin. They didn't even understand Latin, and they were kind of just looking to their priest to say, what is this book saying? And then the priest could kind of say whatever he wanted.
Right.
And so Martin Luther was like, actually, let's look at the Gospels. What do they really say? None of this stuff is in there. There's nothing in this book about confession. There's nothing in this book.